Hello, guys, and welcome to day number 7 of this series 30 Days of JavaScript. So, before I start, I want to say happy Sunday to everybody. Hopefully, you are having a good weekend. Me, so far, everything is good. God is good. So, yeah. So, today we are going to do problem number 7. So, it the title for the problem is Array Reduced Transformation. So, as a recap, we go back. So we are doing the basic array transformations topic, and this is the last problem of this section right here. So we did already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and today we are doing problem 7. So let's go ahead and read the problem statement. Given an integer array nums, a reducer function fn, and an initial value init, return a reduced array. So a reduced array is created by applying the following operations. So value it will be equal to whatever it's going to be returned from this function right here. So we take the element at index 0 of this array. We do some operation inside and we return the value. And then we do also here with the element at index 1 and then the element at index 2. So whatever is being returned to value, that's the 1. So until every element in the array has been proceed, the final value of val is returned. So once we used all the elements inside of this array, then we are going to return the final value of val. So val pretty much is taking whatever is being returned from this operation right here. So if the length of the array is 0, it will return init. So if we don't have anything inside the array, then we are just going to return the initial value that is being given to us. And then they want us to solve this one without using the reduce method, the array reduce method. So once again, this function, we are now writing the function. Logic of the function is going to be inside the function pretty much. So we are just using the function to perform this task, but we are now writing the logic inside the function. And these are examples. So we have example 1. This is the array that they gave us with 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we use this function, if they give us fn, pretty much this function will do the sum. We'll do the sum of all the elements inside the array plus the initial value given to us. So if the initial value is 0, we're gonna do 0 plus 1, it's 1, 1 plus 2, that will be 3, 3 plus 3, it's 6, and 6 plus 4, that is 10. So that's why we get the value 10 here. So yeah, and then here we are going to do the sum of the product of each element. So if we take this element, for example, let's say init is this one, right? So we take this element 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 100 is 100. 101. And 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 101, it's 105. 3 times 3, that will be 9. 9 plus 105, that will be 114. And 4 times 4, that is 16. 16 plus 114, that's 130. So yeah, now you kind of understand the behavior, and they pretty much broke it down here. So you can see what this function will do and the return value at the end. And here we're just going to return every time 0, because when the length is 0, the length of the array is 0, we are returning 0. And if they give us the initial value of 25, at the end the output should always be 25, because there is nothing in the array that we can use to increment or to change the value of the init. So so let's go ahead and start solving this problem. All right, and once again, we are not going to use the array that reducer method. So first thing is create a function. And the function that we are going to create, we are going to name it reduce. And this function take 3 arguments. Yeah. And we want to make sure that we pass those arguments in order as it's being stated in the problem. So we're going to start with nums, function, and init. So nums, function, and init. That's the argument that we are going to take. So it's going to take 3 arguments, which are nums, function, and init. Okay. So we go ahead and write that function. Const reduce. We take nums here, fn, and init. Okay. So mistake like this. Now, the other part here, it says that a reduced array is created by applying the following operation. So we will, if the array is 0, we are returning the initial value, the one that is being provided to us. But if it's not 0, then we are going to do either this operation right here or this operation right here. So initially, what's going to happen is we're going to return init. We are going to return init if nothing happened. But if something happened, so let me do this. Return the actually, not to confuse you guys, I know we are going to return something, but I don't want to get ahead of myself and now break it down further for you guys so that it's easy to understand. So pretty much here it's telling us that we need to iterate over the nums array, and every time we iterate, we need to assign the value, whatever value, like if it's this operation, so we need to assign the sum of the value to a variable val. Okay, so pretty much what it's saying here. Okay, so if we do 4, because we want to iterate, so first thing would be to iterate. All right, so iterate through nums array. Okay, so this is what we are going to do for elements of nums. Okay, so we are iterating here. Now, after iterating, what we want to do is have a variable and assign it every variable and do some operation and assign that value back to this variable. So what we can do is we can use this init pretty much as well, because if after doing this operation the return value is let's say 1, or the return value is 0, I mean if the return value is still the value of init, then nothing will change. But if it's not the value of init, then init will change and will now not be the initial value that was passed, but the value that will be returned from this function. So what we can do is init. So here I'm gonna say, sorry guys, I'm gonna say update the init value if nums array is not empty, right? So this is what we are doing here. Right, what is this? Okay, I'm just gonna leave it like this. So we are going to update the init value if num is not empty. So that will be init is equal to, now we are going to do this. So this function will take the initial value first with the first element of the array, do something, return the value, and then on the second run, it's gonna take the value. I mean, because it's gonna take this one, pretty much because it has been updated, it's gonna take this one, the value after the first iteration, do something with the second value of the array, and return it to val again. So instead of writing another variable here called val, I'm just gonna use this init, because pretty much like if the array is empty, we are going to return init, but if it's not empty, then we are going to update the value of init based on the condition of the function. Okay, so then we're gonna have fn is equal to the first time, so it's gonna be init. Since the value of init is gonna be updated, pretty much we are going to reuse that value again and again and again. Yeah, so we have this one, and then num0, pretty much it's saying, okay, get the element at index 0. Here it's saying get the element at index I. So what this for loop is doing right here, it's getting the element of inside num, so each element in order. So index, the first iteration will be the element at index 0, the element at index 1, and so on and so forth. So this actually is the value of the element at index, at a specific index. So we don't have to write num0. We can easily say element. Okay. So here we have this part right here. So we update the init value if the num of array is not empty, and this is based on the condition inside of this function. Whatever the function is returning, we are going to update the init value by the return value, and do that again for the second element, the third element, if the nums is not empty. And then at the end, we are going to return init. So what it's doing is, in order for us to iterate through the nums, this need to be greater than 1. So the length of nums need to be greater than 0, actually. If we have to have at least one element. If we have nothing, then only the value of init will be returned. But if we do have something, then we are going to update this value and then return this value at the end. Okay. This is what we have. We can go ahead and let me look, not here. Okay, this one. I want to do it this way so that it's easy to read. Okay. What did I do? Alright, I know this is not important, but I very often like to keep my work clean. Alright, yeah, this one is good. So we'll create a function that takes 3 arguments, nums. So this one is an array, this is a function, and this is an integer value. And the next thing that we did was to iterate through the nums array, get each element. If the array is not 0, the length of the array is not 0, we are getting each element at a specific index, and updating the init value by the return value from this function. based on the condition or the logic inside the function, and we return init. So if this one is 0, we're just going to return the initial value right away, because we are not going to work on this, like on the code inside. So we are going to do for element of num. So if we find out it's 0, then we're not going to even do this part of the code. We're going to jump right away here. But if it's not, the length is not 0, then we will do something here, update the init value, and then print. So once again, we take 3 arguments, we create a function. We take 3 arguments, an array, a function, and an integer value. The second step is to iterate through the array, the nums array. So if the length of the num array is 0, meaning that there is nothing inside the array, then we are going to jump straight to this part of the code and return the initial value that was provided to us. But if the length of the array is not 0, so it's greater than 0, we are going to perform this part of the code and update the init value by the returning value from this function, and then we return init, the updated init. So let's go ahead and run this and see if the code will be accepted. Well, as you can see, the code has been accepted. All the 3 cases passed. So the 3 cases are pretty much the example provided here. So we're able to get it on the first try. So now I'm just going to go ahead and click submit and see how we did. All right, so the code has been accepted. The runtime. So for now, I'm not really focusing on this one anymore, because the goal of this is to pass, the challenge, to do all the problem and solve the problem. As long as the code has been accepted, that should be fine. Because one thing that I noticed the other day is that if I decide to submit this one again, these values are going to change. So if I do that again, see the value changed slightly. So that's not really the big issue. So this marks the end of this problem with the solution. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to subscribe and leave a thumbs up if you really enjoy this video, and also leave a comment, feedback. I really appreciate. Once again, thank you very much, and see you on another episode. Bye bye.